back. First episode of the new year. Episode 4, GQZ is the show. Post of Vancouver is the channel. Check it out if you're bored. Got my homeboy Jonas DC and a new guest to the show, Renard, and Danny back on the
ones and twos. Good to have you boys back.
Happy New Year to those.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Crazy year already. It's just January.
Just the 20th of January, and a whole bunch of shit has happened.
A lot of stuff worth talking about.
That's for sure, man.
Shout out to Lip, probably in the sand out in the Philippines. Hopefully we'll have you back real quick. We can get the next episode going. That'll be good. That'll be good.
This guy comes back tomorrow and then leaves for Vegas.
Yes, beauty.
Yeah.
What in the world, man?
That's pretty much so. Like, if your vacation went to shit, you're gonna save it with the Vegas trip.
For sure.
That's pretty much what
Or you'll just ride the wave of epicness that's
Yeah.
just gonna carry on over, man. It's Vegas. God damn, lucky son of a bitch.
Vegas is always a good place to go, man. It's expensive as shit, but a lot of fun.
Expensive if you're a guy. If you're a girl, you can pretty much do everything for free.
Pretty much.
Oh, if you're a hot girl. If you're a
Yeah,
hot
who are we
girl.
kidding? Oh, I'm just joking. Well, no. Props out to those two.
Any girls?
That's true. I mean, that's a sucky thing to admit, though. But you know,
I don't think so. I think
No.
if they got big tits, they're in,
just
symmetrical features.
You got long hair, you're good to go, man.
Symmetrical features. Good face proportion.
Proportion, jawline. Yes, I see it.
So, where were you guys for that earthquake? What were you doing?
Well, I was just about to go to sleep, actually. I think it was around 11. I was trying to go to sleep, and it sounded like my the door for my balcony swung open. It wasn't, and then it was about 60 seconds of just rumbling.
Shit.
I'm scared because I live kind of close to one of the power substations, and holy smokes, if anything happened there, I wouldn't want any buildings to be on fire near me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I have to say.
What were you doing, man? I was over at my buddy's house. We were chilling, watching jiu-jitsu videos, and then all of a sudden the room just went whack. Furniture shook. We're just like earthquake immediately.
I was at work, but at my work, shit shakes all the time. So I was like, I don't even know
Just
what
a
that was.
big ass plane. Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
that's about it.
Pretty
So you were
crazy.
desensitized to an earthquake.
Yeah.
Small one anyway.
Small one.
The big one you would know.
What's
The
crazy?
big one,
Yeah,
the big
the
one.
big one, man. One day that shaking is gonna start, and it's just gonna keep on going, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna hit a really high number on the Richter scale.
Yeah.
None of this 4 point.
Yeah,
whatever
and it's
it was.
gonna that 1 second that it took. That's gonna be like one second times 10 minutes. It's just gonna rock, man.
Yeah.
What is it that we live in the Cascadia subduction zone?
Yeah, well, there's a few plates that meet here,
Yes.
and they've been big earthquakes. I think 200 years ago near Alaska,
Yeah.
and that's two continental plates running into each other. But then they got the Juan de Fuca plate down below,
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
the big one.
and
That
near
hasn't
California,
moved in a bit.
that would cause a tsunami that would come past the island and probably freaking hit
Towards
us.
us. Oh, I don't want to think.
You know, and like Vancouver is not prepared at all for any type of natural disaster on that scale. You know, like
Yeah.
there's no, disaster response. I work at the airport, and man, just recently, I would think within the last couple of months, they've been, considering the idea that it could definitely be a possibility. There have to be evacuation procedures, etc., etc. You know, and for years before that, it hadn't really been spoken of. And I mean, the airport has thousands of people in it at a given moment.
Well, they need to take advice from places that already had a lot of earthquakes in Japan.
Japan.
If they're gonna spend any money,
Yeah.
this should be a wake-up call, right? That something big's gonna happen. If you actually care about humanity, you're gonna spend money to make sure people don't die.
Yeah, your infrastructures are good to go.
They've done quite a bit for skyscrapers. Put a big counterweight at the top so
Yeah.
it doesn't shake as much.
This is
the
in
best thing would be make it out of structural steel.
This is in Japan.
But-
My buddy just got from Japan and he says we have earthquakes at least twice twice a week.
Yeah, I went there for 3 weeks, like 5 years ago, and I was only there for 3 weeks. Like I said, that there was an earthquake, and it lasted about, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, but it was significant.
Yep. And
And
he goes,
it's all
and, yeah,
time.
these are like the ones he felt here. Is like that was baby, man. That was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common occurrence in other places of the world. But yeah, you're right. They should definitely get on that, man. I can't imagine the type of chaos there would be here.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, what would I do? Who would I contact first?
Yeah.
Am I even prepared for this? Like, what if my car is all of a sudden, flattened out by cement? Do I have to run to whoever the fuck I need to get to, or
Yeah.
all these things, man?
Yeah, there's so much shit going on in your head. You're thinking about like your loved ones, you're thinking about your personal safety, and now if you're at work, there's distance between you and your families.
And just hypothetically speaking, I'm thinking that if a big earthquake were to hit, man, I'm sure communication line would just be jammed.
Oh yeah.
If you think it's jammed during New Year's or the fireworks where you can't get cell reception,
Yeah.
imagine when a fucking natural disaster where millions of people are just like, what?
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know what?
You'd be
Forget
toast.
about your phone. The first thing you want to do is get to high ground. That's
Yeah,
the first
high ground.
thing.
Oh my
if
gosh.
you live in Richmond, you're already below sea
Yeah,
level. If
you
there's a
gotta-
tsunami, you're gone.
You gotta book it to a bridge and get out of Richmond, man. You need to get to high level.
Would you guys run towards like North Van area,
Probably not.
or would you go towards like Abbey, or Langley area?
Well, I mean, before anything really happened, like I'm guessing we'd have what, like 20 minutes if there was a tsunami that would, come this way.
Yeah, time it. Just like I
Like
can
how much
still do
time
this.
would you realistically have? I'm thinking like maybe 20 minutes.
Okay, so in
Something
our
like that.
in our worst case scenario, man, you also know that the roads are gonna be jam packed,
Well, that, yeah.
like gridlock jam packed. It's dead.
It could just be one of those things where, like, wherever you are, you just gotta fucking
Brace
tighten
yourself.
up your ass, keep standing, just fucking hope for the best. man.
Oh yeah, so that's some
Yeah,
that's
because
and the
everybody's
rules.
probably thinking the exact same thing you are. It's like panic.
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta get out of here. And everyone's gonna go nuts. Right? I'm carrying like a first aid kit now in my trunk,
Yeah, oh,
and
dude, for sure.
I have like some, excessive amounts of water in my house because there's a good chance if it becomes a natural disaster that they're saying it's gonna be.
Yeah, if you get those water cooler.
You won't be able to buy like food. Going to the market's gonna be fucked. Like you're gonna need something to keep you going for a couple of days before shit settles down.
Yeah, bottles of.
On a good note, we won't have to go to work for those of you working at 9 to 5 because shit's gonna be all over the place.
Yeah,
But,
do what you want. Anarchy.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? I wouldn't put it past some people. At some point, that when there's no, at that point, when you have worrying about your own life, the rules and the
Don't
criminal
apply.
code
Yeah,
are
it's
pretty much
survival now.
out the window.
For
It's
sure.
survival. So of course it's going to be the odd person there that's going to be like, well, it's time to get ahead here. Let's go loot some fucking
For sure.
stores.
I mean, you can't blame like people from Katrina. I know they were, footage on the news always showed guys, looting. Hell yeah, you'd loot. You're in flood water with dead bodies floating around. You haven't eaten in days. You gotta do something. But then
And they
again,
make it seem like they're criminals, man.
but then again, you also saw the guys looting big TVs
Yeah.
in a flood. It's like a 40-inch
That's how
plaza.
they're gonna survive.
This
There's
is
no
coming
cable.
with P, man.
Yeah, man.
Like, you don't need plasma TV.
There's those
in a
people
flood.
grabbing foods and those motherfuckers running around with a PS4 and
It's
a
going like
big ass
this. Just like,
Yeah, with the other guy holding it above the water. It's like, yo, don't drop it, bro, don't drop it. Oh, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the way it is, though. It's
I'd
It's
throw
opportunity.
I'd throw some morals out. I'd take my car and try and get out as fast as I could.
I mean, if you're gonna
I'd
go
go as
that
far
way,
as I could with
you
my
might as well
car.
try to rob a bank. You know what I mean? Like, there's a flood. First thing you do, you just
No,
I don't
man,
think you need money.
You can't think like that because if
Don't
you
need
die,
money.
you won't be able to use any of your money.
That's true. That's
So,
true.
like, that's the last thing on your mind. I think.
Rifles,
Yeah.
those help.
Nah, man. I'm just saying. It's not like I'm promoting crime.
And that's the other thing too. Like, if there is that natural disaster, it's like how long will it take Vancouver to kind of, or the law enforcement or whoever, the military, whoever comes in response to these kind of disasters to get things under control and kind of start stabilizing, the panic and the chaos. it could take a lot longer here just because they don't really have any type of systems.
Well,
in
don't
place.
encourage that, man.
Well, I don't know, man. I think
We want to stay
I
out
don't know, because that just gives them like the opportunity to like put up martial law.
I don't know, man. I believe in Canada's sort of,
Have
resolve,
military
man.
police.
I think they've got, at least when it comes to disaster or helping people, goddamn, that's what Canadians are known for, man. Aiding. Dude, Graham is a straight up firefighter. And
Shout out to
Yo, G.
Weberino, bro, from back in the day. G Web.
Yo, G. Missy Bud.
Missy buddy.
Yo,
Make an appearance. Shout out.
Straight up, man. And, this guy, he's that kind of person, man. Canadians are like that.
Well,
just helping individuals.
Yeah, but I think in a big city, there's a lot less of that, man.
That's
The
true.
bars, nobody wants to talk to each other. Everyone's kind of.
Oh, especially in Vancouver, man. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, in
I
a big
mean,
city,
you
it's
know, like,
different.
I agree with what you're saying. Canadians, yes, are known for helping the world, etc., etc. But that's because that's what we get to see on the news and what we get to read in the newspapers, etc., etc. But at the same time, I can tell you right now that Canada is responsible for, environmental destruction because they have mining companies that go to third world countries and exploit the people there. And those are Canadian corporations.
That's
You
true.
know, and they're not held accountable for anything because they're overseas, but they're not held accountable either when they come back home. So I mean, it's all what it's all perspective, right? It's really what they give you to work with, and the common public, they don't get very much. What do we have? Fox News, CNN.
Also, dude, man, like,
CT.
did you guys hear about that news? Big pun there. That the Sun and the province are merging newsrooms.
Yeah.
Because there was the news corporation that owns the two had massive cutbacks.
Well,
So they need to start. They laid off a few hundred workers and all that stuff, man. And that's kind of sad, man. Because the newsprint is like a medium that's been around for centuries, dude.
for the most part, what I could tell is most people that actually cared about reading the news read the Sun, and people read the Province just for the sports page.
Oh yeah, the sports
So
page and the
for a
Sunday
lot of
Times.
people, they're like, yeah, whatever. Like now I get everything in one package.
That's true. Like I
But-
usually read the Province for
Yeah.
the entertainment section and stuff because it's more like I don't know, poppy. Like how
Yeah,
Global is
absolutely.
like the pop version of CTV. I don't know. Renting
I
out.
was driving here today. Gas prices $1.04, bro.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the barrel of oil at? Like must be like 30 bucks.
$30.
Yeah, it's way under 40.
And also Canadian dollar
Thank
is
you, ISIS, for flooding the market.
71 cents US as well.
Are you making a shout out?
No, man, I don't want to do that.
No man, ISIS is they're nuts, man.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, they're an extremist group. And they don't give a
And
shit
you know
about
what
anything.
plays a very particular and important factor in this entire, world disruption concerning ISIS is that religion is involved, and that changes everything. Because when you have people that are devoted 100% to their faith, they'll do anything, man.
That's true.
That's somebody that is not afraid to die for their convictions and what they believe in, and they will gladly do it. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You have women, man, young children that are willing to strap themselves up with IEDs, man, and
Run to a bunch of people and
that's what it is, man. And that's, I would think maybe like 10 years ago it'd be something we're talking about and we could laugh at it and be like, oh shit, that's crazy, because it seemed pretty far-fetched. But now you can watch the news and there's something happening every other week, man. For instance, recently Indonesia and Burkina Faso. You know what I mean? Even here at home, did you guys hear about those group of kids that was at Pacific Center? They were videotaping entrances and cameras, etc. Anyways, that's what they were accused of. And their mugshots were plastered on the public media, and they were looking for these people to be questioned.
Yeah, that was something we saw on Facebook. Was BuzzFeed were the first ones, I think, to post
BuzzFeed,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, and just some of the comments
Middle
that I
Eastern
got
is what the
were
first
ridiculous from people that are just
one. Yeah, some guys on my Facebook
completely
feed were
brainwashed.
going, yo guys, watch out. Some of my friends were like, you know, they're like, yo, I'm not gonna go to Pacific
The
Center.
thing is,
blah, blah,
people
blah.
are accustomed, they want to be scared now. Like, everything's about fear, and for some reason, some people have this disorder where they want to be afraid of something. And unfortunately, that's what it is now. There's this huge, like, Islamophobia that's kind of taken over with some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely the stereotypes come into play a lot easier and with lack of judgment because of the fear that has been instilled into the people through media and
Yeah.
those
The
factors.
actual shit happening, you know?
Exactly.
You know,
it just reinforces what they're scared of
exactly,
already,
it's like-
and you're
yeah.
perpetuating
But here's the
something.
thing, man. You don't have to be a Middle Eastern dude, you know, with dark skin and a big beard to be involved or accused of some type of terrorist plot, man.
Absolutely. Most of the terrorist attacks in the U.S. were committed.
Okay, what if it were three gentlemen,
Islamic people.
white people, white
No
gentlemen,
one would have phoned in and said anything because
three
they.
guys, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. If it would have been three white dudes, man, I don't think we would have been hearing about it, you know? That's where those common stereotypes come into play. And, you know, for everyone that doesn't know out there, the Muslim religion is a religion and it has no boundaries when it comes to ethnicity or anything like that. I've seen Filipino Muslims,
Yeah,
you know,
all over the
Hispanic
world.
Muslims.
It's a very new religion. A lot of people are attracted to it.
Yeah.
It's great.
You know, I don't know, man. Like it's tough when you are not against some sort of, you know, you're not against a country. You're against an entire
Yeah.
belief system. Belief system that's increasingly growing. That's heavily funded, man, by their own corrupt styles, man. These guys know how to get money and they know how to fund themselves.
The extremists are.
The
yes.
extremists are very. There's
Yeah,
so
well,
many
there's a lot of
extremists
people
around
that
there.
want to destabilize that part of the world, and they're going to pay them. It's a mercenary groups that are doing this stuff.
Yeah, some jihadist John, they call them, man. You know, like the modern jihadi guy is a non you know, Middle Eastern looking person. It could be a guy from Sweden or a person from Australia. All these guys, you know, and how you always hear stories about how there's they could have sworn they saw white people fighting for ISIS, like, you know, militia were just against the West, man. The Western culture is what they're really against. That mentality of, what is ISIS's beliefs? Can anyone tell me?
From my understanding, ISIS was a rebel group that was within their country, and they were in opposition of the government. So what happened is they needed funding and arms because they were willing to revolt. And from what I understand, enter United States, hooked up this militia, you know, rebellion group with arms, man.
Yeah, taught them how to fight.
State-of-the-art weapons. And I'm guessing it was because the United States would help them there, and in turn, once they controlled, you know, the
Certain
government
regions, yeah.
and the, you know, the natural resources of the country,
Yeah.
they would be like, well, I scratch your back and now you scratch my kind
It's
of
like,
deal.
no.
Only problem is ISIS grew up here nuts and was like, fuck you, you can back the hell up right now, and we're gonna run our own shit here.
Yeah.
And that's when the United States was like, oh, well,
We've created a monster.
we've created a monster and now we need to handle it.
Highly trained.
somewhat.
Highly trained monsters.
Yeah, well, they're spending a lot of money on it, and that's kind of their whole deal. It's just like perpetuating a big arms factory, right? They got unlimited money in their freaking program to just bomb the shit out of everyone.
Yeah.
They have too much money in their military.
You know, big ups to Vice. Vice is this sort of, you know, alternate news sort of source that's kind of been growing in popularity in recent years.
Yeah.
Remember Vice back in the day? They used to be a magazine.
Yeah, they
back in
used
high
to
school, right?
start off as just a
And, like,
magazine.
Super hipster, like weird, crazy stuff that you never really got. But then the older you get, like the more relevant things started. And these guys are starting to, you know, open everyone's eyes to, you know, all these things that are happening around the world in a very realistic view, man. It's like, There is no ifs and buts. There is no political whatever. We don't know really what's going on, but we can tell you what is happening right the second there.
It's pretty much journalism at its finest.
Oh yeah, you just throw
Video
them into
journalism.
straight up.
They present straight facts. They interview people that are particularly involved in whatever issues that they're trying to give some light to, and they just put it out there, and you take it for what it is, and you make your own opinion about it. And the thing I like about that is that it's extremely organic, and to some extent it could be, you could argue that it's biased, but what is biased about the truth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're giving truth to people, there is no bias, man, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no what ifs.
They get in there, they find out what's actually going on, and I really respect that. Not just what they're told they should report while they're in that particular location.
Shout out to Vice. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Shane Smith, big ups,
Right.
Canadian.
Yeah.
I saw a Vice episode called Surveillance City, and my buddy Jones here, he's the one that put me onto that one.
Oh yeah, the one in New
It
Jersey.
was about Camden, New Jersey,
Jeez.
and apparently what was taking place there is that extreme levels of poverty, very, very poor place, and it got to the point where the municipal government there could not fund a police task force. So at one point they had maybe like 12 or 30 cops for a whole city, and they just couldn't do it. So crime skyrocketed, man. And people were doing really whatever it is they wanted to do. And in America, especially in the very poor districts, what are your other options other than to slang drugs or get involved in that kind of lifestyle? People need to eat, they need quick money, and they're dealing with common stereotypes. A lot of people have criminal records. Good luck trying to get a job that way. So I understand the need for people to go legitimately and wear a suit and tie, do an interview and shit and get a job. But in our day and time, it's unrealistic, especially for those areas that are poverty, struck. And so what happens in this episode of Vice is that a private policing company comes in and offers to take over the police task force, but on their terms. So essentially, Camden, New Jersey becomes a complete police state.
Yeah, they put cameras everywhere.
Everywhere.
They're questioning people walking down the street, accusing everyone of dealing drugs or committing a crime.
Their patrol cops are dudes with
you lost all your liberty.
M16s and just heavy duty, man.
Cameras everywhere on every block, microphones on every block, and their excuse for these kind of what I think are invasions of privacy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Their excuse was that it would one, the whole project would decrease crime, and second, the response time into which they could attend to these crimes would be much less because of all the security cameras and the microphones, etc. For instance, if there is a shooting on so-and-so block, they pick it up and they can have units there within the minute.
Triangulating from all the different cameras and microphones. And that's the future, boys. I mean,
that's martial law.
That is some futuristic stuff, man. Imagine if the police can do that, what the government can do now.
And the worst part is that it looks good to someone who's an outsider and sees it. On a piece of paper, the data shows that yes, crime does decrease. There were definitely positive things that came out of it, but at what expense and what cost? And systems like this don't target the rich upper class. Because there's no need for it. They have their lives in order. They don't struggle with things like, what am I going to feed my kids tomorrow and that kind of shit.
How am I going to walk through this neighborhood today
without getting shot?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So these particular task force only apply to the poor people. And at that point, it becomes a thing where you're oppressing a social class. That's what it comes down to. And how do human rights violations play into this? In Camden, New Jersey, you could not be standing outside your home having a cigarette talking to your buddy without being harassed by 2 or 3 cops telling you to get lost or they were going to ticket you for loitering. What kind of shit is that, man? Where are people's freedom?
It's a test.
Where are
This
your
is the
rights?
whole experiment, right?
Yeah.
in North America, we're just like big victims of huge experiments all the time.
Dog, man.
Are you
Need to be more
describing
aware.
a dictatorship here, or what? Is that what that
Sounds like it, right?
I mean,
I mean, to a certain extent, I would have to say it is. There's literally a one supreme ruler, and there's no ways around that law. Like you have to consider what they're telling you as far as them portraying themselves as peacekeepers to whatever extent they see fit.
Yeah, they lost touch of what actually people want is what they're supposed to like represent, and they pass laws to what they want.
Oh yeah.
And we're all victims of it all the time.
It's becoming it's the police, man. It's the police.
I mean,
And the
yeah.
power
By
that you get.
defending their
Okay,
absurd laws.
not even just defend because they have the authority to do it, man. The police will fuck you around because
Yeah,
they're the police and they
abusing it.
can, man.
Yeah,
They've done
use
this
it all the
millions of
time.
times, man. They're like, I'm gonna beat this dude. I'm gonna pull him out of a vehicle. I'm gonna beat him up.
And
Just
then all my
find a
buddies in
reason.
blue are gonna lie for me and keep my job, and
Oh.
I'm gonna go on 3 months of suspension with pay.
I'm gonna literally make a murderer out of this.
Yes.
Out of some crazy
Yes.
dude
Yes.
who apparently, oh my gosh, because
Yeah,
we're
we need
watching
to
that.
touch on that show.
Yeah.
It's the
Making
most
a murder-
addictive show.
Okay, if there's
on
any,
t- on
if that's to tell
Netflix
you,
anyways.
that's the world we live in. The police, the corruption, the power trip that we have. That's a mind state right there, man. It's us versus the guys who hold the stick.
For all those who haven't checked it out, you need to watch Making a Murder on Netflix or wherever it is that you get your social media from.
Yeah, it's about 10 episodes long and you'll probably watch all of them.
It's about a guy named Steve Avery who was wrongfully convicted, and after being let go, I think it was 18 years later,
Yeah.
they managed to pin him with another murder that included his 14 or 15-year-old nephew at the time, and imprison him again, wrongfully. Because if you watch the show,
You'll find out why.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm just saying that circumstances were very the right place at the right time, or perfect timing.
Yeah.
This goes back to what you said before about the criminal justice system. In this particular case in the U.S., because that's where Steve Avery lives, shrouded in conspiracy, man,
I'm
and
telling
human
you.
rights violations.
It's the United States, man. It's not a. They were saying there was some crazy fact about it. It's the existence of the United States out of the 200 whatever years that it's been in existence. It's been in war for that several years as well. If they can't find anyone to fight, they'll fight themselves, man. Right? I've said this again and again, and I believe it to this day, man. There's something about Americans that are just really shady. They're really shady. I mean, they're very.
Well, do you think the last straw has taken their arms away?
No, you'll never take their arms away. It's part of their amendment, man. It is part of their constitutional rights.
Well, yeah,
And
no,
as
but
a people.
if the
And not even
government can
consider-
do whatever they want, they could take that away too.
No, you can't, because I mean
The government doesn't want to, man, and neither do the people or the corporations that support the government that give hefty fucking donations and money for
Say yes to
political
this,
campaigns
say yes
or
to
anything
that.
like that.
No to this, yes to that. You're good to
There's
go.
just too much money involved in weapons to be like, oh, it's not allowed. It'd be like saying, okay, we're not gonna have cars anymore. Why? Because they're building cars in Mexico, where they're abusing people, an instance for the salaries. People are working, building cars for next to nothing, man, and then they ship them out here and they sell it to us at a ridiculous price.
Oh, that's
You
the
know what I
economy
mean?
works, man. That's the way the world works.
Yeah, there's-
Unfortunately.
So
And
because
that's-
of that, I
that's
don't
not-
see, weapons going away in the United States or anywhere in the world at that fact, because it's $1 billion
Well,
industry, man.
there's another force at play. Is like all these attacks. They want to take people's arms away, so they can't fight back against the police and the people who is trying to instill their laws
Well,
on them.
dude, you know what? In Texas, they just made it legal for you to openly carry your weapon around, as long as it is in a
Well,
holster.
usually you need a
This is
usually
cowboy.
you
This no concealing, you can open
Conceal
carry. This is Texas. That is some cowboy shit. That is literally some old western. Dude, yeah, they're rocking holsters out there.
Where was that in the southern United States or somewhere in the U.S.? There's a movement called Peacekeepers, and it was started by ex-military, ex-police officers, guys that had combat training, that all possess, heavy artillery at home. And this was in response to a lot of the in this case, African Americans that were being shot by the police, etc., for bogus reasons. And at some point there was a very deep following or heavy following for the African American justice, etc. But at the same time, we have to remember that the U.S. also has very conservative, deep-rooted values. If you can have at one point hundreds of thousands of white supremacists within your country, and that you were not allowed to touch them because they were protected to some extent. That's saying a lot, man. But anyways, so in this particular part of the U.S., there was a clash between those people that had those conservative, deep-rooted American values that were, white is right kind of mentality, fighting literally with the people on the African American side. And the police, because they were shooting people and really didn't have control of what the hell was going on, this movement of self-acclaimed, militia started, and they called themselves the Peacekeepers, man. And these were people, regular Joes like me and you, that might have had some type of police training at some point or some type of military training, decided that the police cannot police our state, so we're gonna do it ourselves.
Yep.
So imagine going to Safeway or wherever the fuck it is you shop, and you see a bunch of random dudes in military gear that are not associated with your military, walking around with M16s.
Yeah, militia.
What the fuck? It's like
No, America.
I'm just trying to buy groceries, bro. Why are you pointing this gun at me?
Well, there was another example of that in Oregon.
Yeah, they took over that park.
Yeah, lately in a national park there. They're fighting over their land. And they, again, another example of an armed militia appearing.
Wait, the guys in Oregon, are they the ones that got like dildos mailed to them or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Those the
That's
guys?
the one.
That's kind of weird.
Well, like the internet heard about it and they didn't plan it out right, so they started pleading for supplies and shit because they took over whatever building, and then people started mailing them dildos, from what I recall, right?
Dude, please stop mailing us dildos, please. Man, no, it's I know, ultra patriotic Americans like that are kind of scary, man. Because it's a rising thing, militias, and there's always been like a certain era in the United States government where militias would start rising, and somewhere down the line that stuff would get blamed on them. Most famously is the Timothy McVeigh. So back in the day, before that whole building blew up, and before we knew anything about Timothy McVeigh, the militia in the United States actually started increasing in size. They were getting the public actually kind of going, kind of agreeing to what they were standing for. But then, the U.S. I don't know if McVeigh really had I don't know what the thing is, but basically after that incident, the support just went away to the point where militias just got kind of disappeared. But now things in the United States are very up in the air, man. There's so many things happening that everyone is it's the militias. Now militias back on track on what they wanted to do back in the day, and they are starting to come from the woodworks.
I think it's like old entities that are found a new face, they've reinvented themselves, and now they're here in the common day. And I'm gonna just take a guess here and out of a hunch and say that a lot of these people are supporters of Donald Trump. Heavily, Mr. Trump in the news again, as usual, making headlines. And his following just seems to be getting somewhat stronger to a certain extent. I don't want to believe it, but it's hard not to, And all the gimmicks. Did you guys see that little spiel where he had like 3 little girls dressed in American?
No, I didn't want to see that.
Singing and shit, and like painting that beautiful blue and white and red picture of freedom.
I'm scared of the guy. I think he's a precursor to World War III.
Dude, there was that.
It's ridiculous, his philosophy.
There was that one in his campaign where the lady was just standing up and she was Muslim, and they got her kicked out of the rally, man. Got kicked out just for being.
This is bad for my image. Let me
It
get
was
her
so
out of here.
bad, man.
Wow.
Now, like, yo, that's extreme.
That's extreme, man. That's straight up human rights violation, like happening right there.
And your guys are gonna vote him in.
Yeah. And people are clapping, man.
What, you guys are gonna vote him
crazy.
in? What the fuck? This guy is crazy. Don't do it.
Everybody needs to
don't do it.
remember that Donald Trump is where he's at because he's a very efficient businessman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the common theme here that everyone needs to keep in mind, that he's a businessman, and the only shit he really the only shit thing that he cares about is money, man.
Yeah, and it's proven, like America, they're kind of gone down in their economy versus the rest of the world. And a lot of people think that their country should be run like a business.
Yeah.
And that's how they're going to make profit and be all prosperous and successful
That's
again.
true.
And that's why he has such a huge following.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that you cannot run a country based on business perspectives, because the main goal is to get money, man, and that doesn't apply to each and every individual.
People have different beliefs, whether you're environmentalists or you care about religion or
Justice.
Justice. Yeah, there's many different factions, and
sure.
you gotta, if you're running, you
A
want to
country is more than just money.
appease
dollars
them
and
all.
cents.
Although, actually, you got to keep in mind, apparently Donald Trump has declared bankruptcy 4 times in his life.
And
so,
been divorced a couple
and been
times.
divorced. So is he really that great of a businessman? If, that shit's happened to him, and he got forgiven by the government and all that shit, right?
I think Donald Trump is running a great campaign, and he's got a lot of heavy core support, and they're backing him with endless amounts of money that he already has, but everybody puts their 2 cents in, so to speak, so that they can have a say later on once he's elected president.
Well, that's it. A lot of people think people want to get into politics just for the money. He already has the money. That's why it appeals to a lot of people. Oh yeah, he's doing it because he actually wants to make a difference. Although the
What
way
kind of
our
difference?
liberties are being taken away, I think he's gonna help enforce more of them being taken away.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
It's a dangerous situation there.
So yeah, we'll keep the YouTube world up to date on Mr. Donald Trump and his antics. He never seems to stop surprising the world anyways.
But like, you guys should really please, stop. So if this reaches out to the States, please really take a good look at who you guys are really supporting, man. Because that is some freaky shit. You do not want that guy running you don't want him running your country, man.
Who's the next best candidate though? Hillary Clinton?
Bernie Sanders is the one for me. I'm a union guy. And I mean, the unions have fought for people and got them fair wages, and I think we're at a time where we can prosper and get fair wages for everyone.
That's true.
But I don't know, he just seems a lot smarter than the other candidates. And seems like that's going to do something. So I hope he gets more popularity as this race goes on.
This gong show.
Yeah.
Speaking of gong show, how about on a random topic here, Steve Harvey. With his little blunder on Miss Universe.
Oh man, and he let it go for 4 minutes?
Yeah, I think he must have been just reading off the telephone.
It was long enough to crown Miss Columbia. Give her the flowers, give her the veil.
Oh,
and
that's
she's
cold.
in her mid wave
that's
salute.
ice cold, and then you gotta
To
tap
like
in the back.
yeah, it's like sorry.
Actually,
I'll take full responsibility for this, but the runner-up is actually Miss Philippines. Oh shit.
Oh my. Big ups to Philippines though. What? Philippines? But no, that's a shitty way.
Nothing against Miss Philippines, but I think if you base, I know the Miss Universe pageant is not based on solely looks and physical attributes.
Yeah.
It's based on the wholesome answers that you give to these fucking pre-written questions that everybody knows they're gonna ask.
Oh.
They're probably rehearsed.
Donald Trump, by the way. Oh wait, no. I think he sold his shares of the Miss Universe or something like that. But he used
He
to own
already
that
had
shit.
a wife from
He used to own that shit, man.
But you know, who knows, man? It's all a show, man. At the
Yeah,
end of the day-
100% probably staged, man. Steve Harvey is now. Well, Steve Harvey was talked about for the
A while,
last
yeah.
2 weeks.
How can I revamp my career?
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna fuck up the Miss Universe pageant.
And they want him back. What?
Yeah.
They want him back to host.
Yeah,
It's good for him though, man. Steve Harvey's a hustler, man.
And just on another note, I was listening to the translator that they had for Miss Columbia when she was answering her questions.
Mm.
Oh my god, they couldn't have picked a worse person.
Bad
Everything was
translator?
horrible. He did not do her any justice, man. Any fucking justice
Couldn't speak
whatsoever.
Spanish or what?
No, she could, but she was saying something completely different than what Miss Columbia was actually saying.
Okay,
And it
so like-
totally fucked up her answers.
Like paraphrasing style, like.
Pretty much, like essentially leaving out the very important things
Oh.
and just, you know, very vague. It's like, oh yeah, world peace, thank you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Miss Columbia's like talking for 5 minutes, and it's like world peace. Thank you. It's like what? Yeah. Well, you know, that's just the way it is, man.
What country needs a little confidence boost? Okay,
Yeah,
you'll
Philippines.
win. You'll win the Miss Universe pageant.
Colombia,
There
you
go.
guys have narcos, and you know you're getting talked about again. It's like, but
Speaking of narcos, El Chapo was caught.
yeah, El Chapo.
Oh yeah, on the 8th of
Via Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Big ups to Sean Penn.
What was that about, man?
So
Penn?
Sean Penn was doing an interview for I think Rolling Stone magazine.
Right.
Because I guess he's now also a journalist.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, why not?
For Vice?
He should work for Vice, man. Get into
Yeah.
Sean Penn. But anyway, this guy scored some sort of meeting with El Chapo. And somehow the Mexican government got a hold of this information and I guess got
There you
El
go.
Chapo, man.
I mean, I want to believe that they caught him again legitimately, but at the same time, it's like, if you got out of prison, you know, escaped,
Yeah.
and now you're in need of hiding, finding some fucking hole to crawl into so that they don't find you. Why the fuck would you stay in Mexico?
Because you own that
Well,
place.
no, he owns that jail anyway.
Yeah.
See, like that's his jail.
Yeah.
He can get out whenever he wants.
I spoke to a couple of Mexican friends of mine, and they say that, you know, it was all plotted. He wanted to get caught. You know what I mean? And essentially, when you have that kind of push in the world, whether you're in prison or not, I don't think it has very much to do with, you know, how you run your business and whatnot. He's essentially the top head, but he's got
He's
fucking
making money
henchmen everywhere,
He's
man.
like, yo, continue run my enterprise.
Pretty
I'll just
much.
chill out here.
You can go back to the Escobar days, man.
Yeah,
that
apparently.
guy was in jail running his whole fucking thing from
This
there.
guy was chilling. He showed a bunch of texts that he was doing, man, and he was like a regular dude. He was
Yeah, but
talking about the iPhone.
El Chapo took it to another level. Like that jail was built like for him, by him.
Let me
Do whatever
just
the hell
okay.
he
See,
wanted
and he
in
goes,
jail.
"You guys are gonna be in jail. The escape hatch will be here. I wanted with ventilation systems, okay? And
Don't
lighting."
forget to leave the dirt bike in there on so and so date, man. I'm not walking down this tunnel.
Yeah, tank of gas and a new suit.
Yeah.
It's like and a few $1 million so I could run away happily. But that's just how it is, man. Mexico, dude.
As Scarface would say, well, you need the bad guy, right?
You do, man.
You need the face of the bad
Ah,
guy.
man. Again, the world is such a crazy place, man. How is that to be your goal? To be the baddest dude on the planet via drug cartel? That's like waking up one day and be like, I am going to be the best drug dealer in the entire world.
I don't think it starts like that, man.
Do you think it comes from poverty?
It's
Just like
yeah,
I
it
need
starts out of your survival needs, like most of the time.
Mm.
You know, I don't know El Chapo and as far as the things he went through in life, but a lot of the time, the motives behind this kind of lifestyle is usually because your back's against the wall.
That's
man.
true, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do to survive, and in some cases, some people are blessed with entrepreneurial skills and
The hustle.
they're good businessmen, man.
They can just spit fire. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what happens, man. You make a little bit of money and you're untouched for a bit, and you pay the right people, and sure enough, your thousands turn into hundreds of thousands, and hundreds of thousands go to millions.
Yeah.
And once you're making that kind of loot, It's all about paying off the right people so that you can continue doing your business, right? And you know, how many Mexicans are into drugs? I'm sure a lot of them aren't, but here's a real fact for you. Most Mexicans can't afford blow. Most Mexicans can't afford to or Latin Americans or anyone in a developing country, you know, drugs isn't on their main list. You know, the things that a lot of these poor people are doing in these countries is literally like huffing gasoline, man, because that's the things that they can get their hands on. So we gotta look at, you know, two sides of the coin here. There's gotta be a market for this kind of shit. Well, what better place in, you know, the Western world, man, where everybody's
they got
thriving.
money, they're all hedonists.
And they're throwing money left and right. So, you know, at the end of the day, consequently, those businesses exist because of people that are in,
Western culture.
you know, in the Western culture that are affluent and they have money and they can afford these things. So they create the demand and the supply comes from there, just like anything else, right?
The world we live in is just a really,
It's crazy.
it's a messed up place, and it's come a long way, man, from way back colonial days of fur trapping
And community and
and
helping
community and
each other
hunting
out.
deer.
Well, you mean when the essential things that matter to people's lives were in place?
Yeah, before fucking iPads and Kim Kardashian.
Yeah. Well, everything is in place for us now, but we need money, so our labor is a hot commodity.
Yeah, that's it. Our labor is definitely a hot commodity, and you know, if you want to keep up with the modern times and have that new phone and have that car, for whatever reason it is, you know, maybe because you need to get to your 9 to 5, or maybe because, you know, you need the approval of your peers and the people around you and the social groups that you want to fit into. They demand those high expectations of people, you know. I know people that are working 2 jobs, man, and they're driving a $100,000 car. You know, and they're just literally working for their car. And they're living in the now and the today because tomorrow is not promised, man.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they got caught up. They're stuck now. They gotta pay it off. I wouldn't want to live like that.
yeah, you can go on like repo.com and you see super expensive cars just getting impounded daily basis because people can't afford their payments, man. And it's like, how do you commit to this if, in, you know, a couple months down the road,
You lose your job, or you know.
but you can pin it on them, or you can pin it on the guy that's financing, you know, them. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
You
sure,
don't have enough money,
I'll
but-
give you the money to buy this car. No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah,
You know, it's like, fuck, what's going on here?
man. The crazy thing is though, like those financing guys, man, they make a little bit of coin too for every person that they approve. So hell yeah, they want to try to approve this dude by any means necessary.
I wish we were doing that for housing, man.
Dude, they were, man. Remember, that's how the market crap.
Yeah,
Have you guys
well-
seen that movie?
Yeah.
The Big Short. Oh my God, watch that movie, man. The Big Short, sort of, it's with like Steve Carell, Brad Pitt, Christian Bale. It's about the housing market that, or the stock market that crashed back in 2000 and
The
whatever,
stock
man.
market, 2008.
And
yeah.
the shit that were people, you know, strippers were owning like 3 or 4 houses, man. And like guys were, you know, dudes who looked kind of bummish,
Yeah,
owning
well, because there was
mansions,
a big
man.
boom, and a lot of people were making
Oh,
tons of
yeah,
money.
yeah,
People
it's
who
all
didn't know
fake
how to
though,
do
man.
it.
It's all fake, man. And I guess they were just selling the dream, man, to the point where it just, and then, man,
Bubble
there you go,
burst.
bubble
But the
burst.
people who are controlling the fact that those guys got a lot of money are still the same ones that are controlling the bust in the
Oh,
market.
dude, you watch that
You
movie
can't
and you
win.
realize that the system is designed to just fail. Like the system is designed for the big guys to always win.
And it's
man.
harder and harder to get out of this system.
Yo, how, man? Bank
Especially when you
bailouts?
live where
Are
we
you
live.
joking?
Where we live,
It's like
guess
we'll let you
what?
exploit people to the point where your back's against the wall, and when you have no other choice, we'll bail you out, but you can do it all over again.
Oh
Fuck
man.
is that?
It's a big
And
slap in the face.
and the fat presidents and CEOs, they got bonus checks for this?
Bonus checks.
Bonus checks in the millions?
Yeah.
For essentially fucking up the world economy? Oh my goodness, dude.
That's
That's
not
crap,
that.
right?
We're gonna pay you for it. Good job, bud.
But then, anyway, the story is about how these 6 guys or whatever, or a group of guys, they started seeing they started crunching numbers. They're like, this shit's about to burst, man. And so when people were betting for the banks or with the banks, they're like, we'll bet against you. We're like, we want the worst case scenarios and we'll buy hundreds and thousands of shares against it.
It's
And these
so
guys were like,
trivial. It's
these guys were
nothing.
like, Psh, it'll never happen. Okay.
It's based on nothing.
Yeah, and
It's
then all of a
ridiculous.
sudden, so these guys are now king, man. $100 million millionaires, man. You know, multi-million-dollar people that made a fortune from betting against the U.S. economy, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie, man. But another good movie that's coming out or it's already out, man. The Revenant.
Yes.
I had
Boy, Leo, shout out Leo DiCaprio, bro.
Leonardo
Appreciate what you do.
It's your year,
human
brother.
activism,
It's
bro.
your year. I don't care if there's this whatever lack of black Oscar nominees. It's at the end of the day, man. That's an art that you did, man. And you're a vegetarian and you ate bison liver for real. You suffered hypothermia for 7 months because of this director who only wanted to film 2 hours per day. Because this guy's hipster, man. He didn't use any industrial lights. He used natural earth light. So he could only film for specific times for specific shots, man. So you could only film as the day goes by. The Revenant, man. You're Leo. You're a tough son of a bitch, man. If you actually did the shit you did there, big ups, man. But The Revenant, you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh my goodness.
What I did see though was this Golden Globe acceptance speech.
Okay, yeah.
Very legit, very legit. He
Oh yeah.
pretty much gave a shout out to all his people that helped him do the film and the director and whatnot.
Yeah.
And at some point, he was able to give a shout out to the Aboriginal people, man. And
Yeah.
straight up called out some corporations that were exploiting the indigenous people, not just where he was filming, but all over the world. And yeah, props to Leo for having the balls to come out on national TV, when everybody's watching and stand up for, human rights, man. The rights of people that are often and very often overlooked. Everybody forgets about the indigenous struggle, and he had the opportunity to work with a lot of people, and I'm sure he spoke to a lot of people, and at some point if it didn't exist already, he developed a very deep level of compassion for the things that the Aboriginal people have gone through, and props to him for giving a shout out in front of everyone.
Well, he's kind of always been into that, like, he's always been a nature lover, man. This guy defending the rights of, seals or whales or whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
This guy's a vegetarian, and he bangs Victoria's Secret models. But this guy's just living the life, but being super chill about it. And so I wouldn't be surprised why he really backed with the indigenous people, but because those guys know what's up, man. He was like, you have to teach us the knowledge because we are really destroying Mother Earth, man. And like, I guess this is what I'm paraphrasing, but that's what I got from it.
I kind of got that he must have really been in touch with the people who was making the film with.
Oh yeah.
Right?
For
Because
sure.
they cast a lot of people. Like we were in Vancouver, and there's apparently there was quite a bit of a cast were Aboriginal people from
Yeah.
Vancouver.
Yeah, no, straight up, and they that's just the way it is, because that's authenticity to the max, and anytime that you could do a project like that, I think he did a really smart smart move by taking that project on, and this guy who directed this film, he won last year for Birdman. He won best director, best film, and then this year he might repeat with this film, man. But unfortunately, one movie that won't get Oscar nomination is The Suicide Squad.
What?
Have you guys seen the trailer that came out?
I haven't seen it, but I hear everybody's pretty
Oh my
stoked on it.
gosh, man! It looks sick, man.
Yeah.
It looks really, really sick.
Will Smith though, like
You
that,
know?
when I
Yeah.
saw him in there,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
really fucks me up, man. Because like you get into the whole thing and then you see Will Smith, and you have no other option but to think of like, Concussion or Independence Day
Yeah.
or Bad Boys, or Fresh Prince. And
Yeah, but I think
how do you put this guy into this kind of mix? I don't know if it's gonna help the movie or it's gonna take away from the movie.
No, I think the cast that they've assembled, man, is quite good, man. And I think there is no one big star. It's all everyone. Jared Leto apparently kills this movie, man. Like, he went full on method acting, 24/7 as the Joker, as his Joker.
Yeah, I read
And he
that.
goes, I went to some dark places, man.
He stayed in character all the time,
24/7.
even when they weren't shooting.
Will Smith goes, what do you you've worked with Jared Leto, and I was like, what do you think of him? Will Smith goes, I don't know, man. I've never met the guy, because he's only met the fucking Joker.
Yeah.
And apparently this guy, the Joker, now Jared Leto, would be sending like crazy gifts to all his co-stars.
That's kind of scary because that kind of makes me think of the other Joker.
Yeah, another person who went down deep.
Yeah,
man,
went
with
down with his whole acting
well-
career after his huge performance. And
Well, the thing is, though, I think the way that portrayed wise, I think the Batman, Dark Knight Joker is different from the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad, he goes, okay, the one not Jared Leto, Heath Ledger's Joker seemed a little more, psychotic, man. Like, for real, like, with the, it's very...
I'm just saying there's a connection that they...
There is a connection, yeah.
Kind of
To
scary.
portray a crazy person, a lot of these method actors, they enlist method actors to go crazy with this character. Well, okay. And so Jared Leto's take of Joker was he said he was listening to a particular type of music alone by himself. And that's what, like, he would get into this character, or he would read a lot of this Russian novelists / artists' work, like really dark, deep stuff. And like he said, he would, his suits were all like Mexican cartel inspired, so like baller, flashy, like grills in the mouth, gangster, like a gangster Joker versus
I think on a level, man, that's extremely fucked up. Because where do you draw the line? Like, how do you not lose yourself by losing yourself in a character?
Exactly, man.
Like, how do you keep your sanity? You're trying to portray something to its purest form,
Yeah.
but you need to become that person and not forget who you are and the things that are, part of your
Like what's
regular
real.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
what's
hey,
real and what's not.
It's like the voices telling you to kill people. That's not you. That's fake. I know. I think people are the most true to themselves. You always know when you're true to yourself, man. Even in like alone time. So even I'm sure at one point Jared Leto was like, "This what the fuck? This is crazy." I'm sure at one point he was.
Jared
he was
Leto,
like,
come on the show, HOV,
Jared Leto,
GQZ.
man.
Let us know
Big
what's up,
ups,
man.
man.
How you did it.
Yo, your
how
mental
you
state.
did-
I want to
did
know how you
crazy.
got into that character, man. I want to know what inspired you to take it in that direction, man. And that'd be really interesting to hear about once we see it. Like, oh, it's gonna be good, man. But
Methodic acting. It's another level, man. Who else is
Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
literally became a carpenter because of one film. He's like, he were to play like some crazy guy who built a house or whatever, or a shoemaker or something trivial like that. And this dude actually legit lived in Italy, made shoes for a living, for the last, there's a lot of other people like that, man. That people who are going, through
the
their
guy who did Batman?
the guy who did Batman.
Yeah, he.
Christian Bale,
Christian Bale.
another one.
Yeah.
Methodic actor. I know that for one movie he lost
Oh yeah,
ridiculous
The
amounts of
Machinist.
weight.
He was
Ridiculous.
borderline anorexic.
Yeah.
Just for the role, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and he would beef up to be Batman too. Those guys would.
They're sacrificed, but that's their
Sacrifice,
job,
man.
right?
That's
Like a
their job.
professional hockey player,
Dude.
they make millions of dollars. They gotta fucking perform. But
100%.
these guys, that's their performance.
Yeah.
They
You
gotta
get
get
paid
into it.
to eat bison liver when you're a vegetarian.
When you're a vegetarian.
Because damn it, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
You're like, we want you to dip into freezing cold temperature water and just ride a current down. That's the stuff they do, man. And I guess that's to authenticity. The pain. That's not acting. That's actual pain. The stuff when he was crawling out. Apparently this guy was battling like pneumonia or some crazy. So like the stuff where he was actually in distress. That's not acting, man. He was actually sick and crawling in the snow. But
I guess you could say acting has come a long way.
it has,
so to speak.
It has.
But then again, every generation has its actors. You know, the ones that stand apart from the rest, the ones that are winning these awards, even though these awards are given by Joe Schmoes. You know, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. Like
It's all
we
about the
said
money,
in
man.
GQZ. It's all about the money.
And that's that, man. Like, I think actors have this crazy way of blending in. It's a weird profession to play someone else for a living. And I think when it comes down to it, because they're so trained and versatile to kind of be anyone, when the shit hits the fan, these guys are probably gonna be trained to fight, or dude, did you guys hear about Jamie Foxx literally rescuing a person from a burning vehicle?
Yeah, right outside his
You don't
house.
think there's a movie that he did where he fucking did the exact same thing over and over again because the shot required him to do so?
You think he was reciting lines from his movie while he was
Yo,
saving
man.
this guy? It's like, oh shit, I've been in this scene before. I know what happens next. I'll go grab the scissors, cut him out.
He's like talking to himself.
That's nuts. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's painted as the savior now.
Yeah, he's a savior. Well, the thing is though, at the end of the day, you're a human being. You see a car flip over and it catches on fire. What do
You
do?
can help. Do
Hey,
it.
look, and is this person going to be all right?
That's the thing, man. Props to Jamie Foxx.
Hey, Jamie Foxx, man.
There's not a lot of people out there that put their hands in the fire for someone that they don't know, and
Yeah.
and
This dude
that,
literally pulled him out, cut him with those, scissors, and
that goes to show you that humanity still does exist, in
in
simple
a
and
weird-
complicated
yeah.
forms,
It's
man.
not all
Yeah.
about, as messed up as the world is, with all its ISIS and all its the bombings and the natural disasters, there are really good things about life, man. And, friendships and love and relationships, family, all that stuff, the good stuff, man. That's really what, we should, at the end of the day, kind of really appreciate, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter how much you watch what's going on TV and it might change you, the most important thing is to just be honest with people.
Be honest with you.
Because all you're doing is helping them.
Yeah.
You may think that you're not because you're scared of how they might react, but you're just helping people.
It's all about love, man.
Love on the GQZ. Love's in Vancouver. It's all about love. You heard it here. We're about to wrap up. Thank you, Jonas, for being here today.
Always.
My buddy Renard. Danny on the ones and twos as usual, repping it up.
Our mixologist for the night.
We'll try and be back real quick with our buddy Lip here to see what he has to tell, the stories, the dirty stories from his trip to the Philippines and Vegas.
And guys, if these guys get 100 subscribers, man,
We get to go live.
yo, and there might be some stripping involved. No, just joking. Then they'll be like, no,
No.
keep it under 900, 99 only. I'm just joking. But it'd be fun, man. Support these guys. They're good.
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Subscribe.
Get into the comment box.
I should really share
Whether
it
it's positive or
because
negative.
I haven't shared this to nobody yet. Not even
Yeah,
the
we
first
want
video.
conversation. So.
Yeah.
If you have
Get it
any
going.
subjects or topics you want discussed on the
Yeah.
show, hit us up, man. and
Literally,
we'll-
go on my Facebook if you're friends with me there, or the 6 people who watch this.
Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. Are we blessing the drum kid?
Nah.
Who's up? I think
Renard, Drifo.
maybe
No,
Renard-
no,
for
no.
reals. Go
Maybe
ahead.
Renard
I
should
don't know
have.
what I'm doing.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
beauty of it, man.
That's
We
it.
should have Renard respectfully.
Yo, plus you have
I'm
a
gonna
drum.
respectfully
Yeah, but no,
say
bang
Jonas
with it.
should do it.
Dude, you have a drum kit at home. Oh.
Yeah, in boxes that I don't play.
It doesn't
Yeah,
have to.
but-
It doesn't have to be good, man. We just end the show. You bang away, whatever it is. It's our little tribute here to the guests.
No one's gonna see this.
Check us out. We'll be
Yeah,
back
right.
real quick.
Pretty saucy.
Renard on the drums. GQZ, host of Vancouver. Thank you for watching. Hit it. GQZ out.